Hey, it's Achilles, and I'm sorry about the wait between videos. This one has really taken a long time to record, about 2 months to convince myself to actually say this out loud, and a couple hours to even come to terms with the fact that I'm really gonna do it. But today I really came to terms with the fact that I finally moved out of an abusive home after 18 years. I didn't understand that I was not in danger anymore, free. I didn't belong to anyone, didn't have to get hurt or like sleep with knives. I just finally got it today. And I didn't think I would ever make it. I thought, because statistically, trans people, we really don't past 20. And most of us probably decide around 13 years old that we're probably going to kill ourselves before we graduate high school. Not only because a lot of us experience abuse, but because of the mental illness that goes along with being trans. But for me, I grew up with abuse. I didn't know that's what it was, though. I grew up with severe psychological, physical, and sometimes sexual abuse. Being locked in boxes, cages, humiliated, forced to do things, hit, CPS called on a lot of times, my little tiny body, tiny mind. I was scared to have thoughts because I didn't think I could. And sure, it was all bad. It was a lot of trans people. We have abuse before the family finds out. But when they do it, if you're not already abused before, it gets bad. Those who have supportive reactions are rare. It's mostly in America and westernized countries, younger parents, more accepting ones. But I'm not lucky to have that stuff. When my mom found out I was trans because someone outed me, the first thing she did was say some of the worst things she's ever said. And that's a record, considering she's been doing that for 18 years. She kicked me out onto the streets. I slept on concrete, and I'm not the only trans person who's done that. I'm pretty sure most of us have been kicked out, forced to run away, not safe in our own homes. It wasn't the first time I was homeless, but it definitely wasn't the last after that. Over and over and over again. Because who would want to help me when I was being abused? But who would want to help a trans me when I was being abused? Not CPS. Throwing me, sometimes generously, in psychiatric wards where my roommates would be trying to hang themselves with blankets. And that would be the best sleep I'd had in a lot of nights. And that's not okay for people to have something like that in their lives. To have to go through that. To be thrown around by CPS because their parents don't want to take care of them just because they're trying to discover who they are. It's gotten a lot worse lately. Transphobia is really active in the media. Getting killed more often. And it's terrifying. That's why I thought I wouldn't live past the age of 13. And I wasn't even outed then. But if I made it out of a house where there would be weeks where I hadn't seen sunshine, I wasn't allowed to have friends until I was 15 years old. I wasn't allowed to enter my own driveway or backyard. I had the police called on me for lighting a candle, for sleeping, just being battered, abused, to the point where I failed out of school because I was forced to not only live with a sexual abuser, 2 of them, but go to class with him every day. And like, maybe my parents, if they hadn't known I was trans, maybe they would have helped me when I finally called the police and said something. Please say something. Because hopefully your parents won't do what mine did. I don't want to tell you guys because it was so bad, and I don't want you to lose hope. But the police really can help. I know they're really scary, and the first time I interacted with them, I'm not gonna lie, they slammed my head against the cruiser. I was only 14 years old, dragged out of my house by 8 police because I wanted to kill myself, because I thought I wouldn't grow up to be the man I was supposed to be. I thought I wouldn't grow up at all, and I was trying to make sure I didn't, because I didn't want every day to be like this. But it doesn't have to be. I don't have to barricade my door anymore. I don't have to ask people to cover up my bruises with makeup. I'm not failing my classes because there's a rapist in them. I'm not scared of walking to my own home. I'm not scared of sleeping. All the things that I can't say on here because they're just so vile. Things you shouldn't hear, things that I don't want you to hear. But a lot of these things have to be said. We trans people, we get abused a lot, especially when we're living in our parents' homes, and sometimes even outside, when we're in dangerous situations, just clinging on to all the housing we can. The suicide rates skyrocket. They're so different compared to people who aren't trans. The hopelessness we all fear, the disgust at our own bodies, the mental illness that develops because of the poor self-esteem, and the constant violence and fear, the abuse in our own homes where we should be safe and loved. We don't even know it. I didn't even know that. But if I made it in a home like that, where I was taken by CPS so many times, the police, everyone, homeless over and over, touched over and over, till I tried to scrub my body clean, you can make it too. I didn't think I would, and I didn't understand that I did. I didn't understand that any of this was real until today. But please, please report the abuse. You don't deserve it. It's not okay. Even if your parents don't like that you're trans, even if it hurts, it's never okay to hit someone, touch someone in any way that they don't want. And if your friends are trans, please make sure they don't get hurt at home. Please watch out for them if you can. And for yourself, please have backup plans. Please, when you come out to your parents, please be safe. I don't want anyone to live a life like mine, to live a life where you can't even talk about it. It takes months to even talk about your reality to others. I want this community to be so much safer for our children to grow up just like everyone else. Because we deserve happiness in a safe home too. And I hope that someone has told you that before, and if not, I'm telling you now. Good luck, everyone. You deserve happiness.